Hi Dani, it's a pleasure to have you here today. In this interview I have some questions related to the band's career and others related with the new album Existence is Futile.
Awesome.
So for starting, my first question is, how was born your love for the darkness that characterizes the aesthetics and the sound of the band?
That's a very hard question to ask. It was so long ago. No, just grew up listening to metal, was listening to thrash metal, goth music, soundtracks, watching horror movies, reading occult books. Yeah, all these things they just put us in the right direction, I guess. Yeah, it's hard to comment on something that was 30 years old, but yeah, I would imagine it was an amalgam of all those influences.
Perfect. Okay, how was and how long did the writing and recording process of Existence is Futile last?
Well, we wrote the majority of the album whilst we were on tour. We were basically on tour for 3 years, not consistently, but over the span of 3 years, we did two world tours. And like I said, the majority of the album was written before they finished. We finished touring at the end of October 2019. Then we finished writing the album before Christmas, did a little bit afterwards, and we were in the studio February 2020, and we were very fortunate that Marthas, our drummer, got to lay his drums down before the pandemic hit and then all the lockdowns happened. Otherwise it would have delayed the album like considerably. The studio is my locality, so it's very close to where I live, and so I was able to carry on at the studio. And yeah, I mean, it was difficult because we had to bring people in from abroad and from Scotland, but we managed to do it. And I actually quite enjoyed recording during the lockdown because it meant we were more isolated than normal. And it was me and the producer for at least 2 months, and we worked half days. And it just gave us plenty of time to be very analytical and look at the songs, look at the structures, and really play around with some cool ideas before the rest of the guys were able to come and contribute to it.
So, what does the cover and title of this album represent?
Well, Existence is Futile was spawned from just an interest in existentialism, the search for the meaning of life, or the search for life's meaning. The album cover is representative of Hieronymus Bosch's, the Flemish painter, his work, The Garden of Earthly Delights, and the creature you see there, the hawk-headed god, is taken from the right-hand panel of the triptych, which depicts mankind going to hell, like literally just destroying itself. And so that's kind of symbolic of this album cover, because it has our interpretation of the hawk-headed god, which is like this weird, strange alien ant creature. In the background, you see the Tower of Babel reaching up to God, that's aflame, again representative of, mankind's pursuit of divinity, endless pursuit of divinity and its meanings. But Existence is Futile is basically saying, really, if there is no greater plan, there's no God, there's no nirvana, no heaven at the end of our lives, then we should just embrace life for what it is. And yeah, so it might seem very nihilistic and negative, but I think it carries a very positive message. Because if there was no religion, I mean, it literally says if there's no grand overarching plan for us, then it literally renders all religion obsolete, and thus probably solves at least half of mankind's problems in one fell swoop.
Perfect. My next question is, how were and in how long was made the videos for the songs Crawling in Chaos and Necromantic Fantasies?
Okay, well, they were directed by the American director Vicente Cordero, and he came over to England during the pandemic, so he had to endure a lengthy 10-day quarantine. And we shot both videos back to back because obviously we had to get everybody in the band in from their different countries. and so we wanted to do as much as possible at the same time. So we made a real effort to make sure that both videos are vastly different from one another. You know, different costumes, different light, different textures, different lightings, different ambiguity, different sets, you know, different color schemes. Both songs are very different regardless of that, so that naturally helped. So yeah, we filmed those over a couple of days in the south of England, and yeah, we had an amazing time doing so. A lot of the creature effects and the other actors and actresses were filmed back in LA when Vicente returned there.
Perfect. What is your biggest vocal influence, and how do you take care of your voice? Because your voice and your technique is really different from many other black metal artists.
Well, I just have lots of techniques that I employ to keep its longevity, lots of little tricks. But really, yeah, I mean, warming up and practice, you know, if I'm going to do anything, I'll practice for at least a week. For example, if I'm going into the studio to record, I'll practice for a week. If we're going on tour, I'll practice for a week. You know, I mean, I'm saying like maybe 10 hours, you know, 5 lots of 2 hours. And basically I sing along to lots of different records, and I sing along to our records, and that really helps getting the voice there. But yeah, I mean, it's something that is natural to me. It might not be natural to other people, but I guess that's my superhero power.
Okay. One question that made the people is, will you do a concert with a symphony orchestra in the future, like Dimmu Borgir did, for example, in the Wacken 2012?
Well, we've been asked to do it on several occasions, but we were going to do it years ago, and we were going to do it at the same place that a lot of bands do it, actually, this amphitheatre in it's either in Greece or Bulgaria, one of the two. Something happened in which we couldn't do it, and yeah, then suddenly everybody was doing it. It was like Dimmu was doing it, Nightwish were doing it, Satyricon did, you know, there's so many bands, and then it just became like, well, why bother? You know, I mean, literally we've got all the orchestras recorded on the albums, and we can do it with them through backing tracks and stuff. It just seemed like the surprise of the whole thing, the originality had gone out of it, so we decided against it.
Did you had any bad experience in a concert or tour?
Bad experiences?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, loads, but not so many that it's ruined tours or anything like that. But yeah, we've had a few bad experiences. We've had riots and gigs cancelled, and yeah, just various strange things that happened. Fortunately, it didn't happen on our recent tour of America, although it was very difficult to undertake that tour from the word go, because obviously what with the pandemic still rife, we had to get very special visas to enter America. We had to prove that we were like a worldwide band, and that we were selling so many records, and we were on all these magazine covers. We had to prove that to the US Immigration Authority first. And then obviously when we were in America, we had all these weird COVID protocols and tests and keeping people away from us and people wearing masks all the time. So it was a very difficult tour, but fortunately nothing went wrong. And we were one of the first bands that actually toured America and finished it during the current pandemic. It was hard work, and but yeah, nothing bad happened there, which is great.
What is it like to work with Nuclear Blast Records?
Cool, they've been awesome to us. Yeah, really love the guys. Some really good people there. Claire Harris, Anne Swallows. There used to be Marcus Jacob, but he's now moved to another label. But yeah, they've been really good to us throughout the last how many years? Say 8 years, I think we've been with Nuclear Blast. Good attention to detail, friendly people, very helpful, very good at getting like ideas together. For example, for this album, the box set with the jewelry and the multitude of different color double vinyl with colored discs, you know, like glow in the dark and splattered marble. And yeah, so they're very good at coming up with ideas. Their press has been great on this tour. So yeah, I've really enjoyed our time with them.
Okay, you have collaborated with various artists related to metal and others not directly related to metal. So, what other metal band will you collaborate with in the future?
Well, I don't know yet. I've got, we're doing a collaboration with someone on quite a big scale, you know, like a big artist soon. But I have no idea really about another metal band as such. I mean, we've worked with a lot of people in the past. Villa Valor, King Diamond, Doug Bradley, obviously, Dirty Harry. Yeah, and obviously I did the collaborations recently with Bring Me the Horizon, Twisted, 69 Eyes, Tank. Yeah, I kind of like doing things with bands that are very different to Cradle of Filth and even different genres, because I think that's more interesting, just the juxtaposition between the two different styles. It's like a weird marriage, you know, like Sex and Death, Love and Hate, you know, two opposing forces coming together. And I find it more interesting doing that. It'd be just easy enough to sing on another black metal album, but it's not really going to enhance either person's, you know, sort of, you know, it's not really going to enhance the quality of either my contribution or the band's. I think it's way better if I'm singing on, you know, like a pop song or a rock song or something, or a punk song. It's just something different, you know. Perfect.
And my last question is, what advice will you give to a band that is just starting out in the industry?
Well, it's a cutthroat industry, and naturally the money in the music industry has gone completely, really, because now that there's so many streaming platforms, people just, you know, the album sales have plummeted to like record lows. People are just rather, you know, spend their money on computer games or phones or anything other than paying musicians. So it's a sorry state of affairs, and I would actually recommend people not to bother and get a proper job at this point. But really, if they wanted to persevere, that's exactly what they've got to do. They've got to really persevere. No fucking, you know, drummer saying, "Oh, I can't make it tonight. Sorry, I've got to go and meet my girlfriend," or something like that. You've got to be absolutely 110% into the band. And I would recommend for a band starting out to scrap a demo, get your best song, maybe best two songs, but for cost's sake, one really good song and make a really good video for it, and then get that noticed, because obviously you've got so many social media platforms in which that can be seen. But honestly, if I was to do it, that's the first thing I would do. I'd get my best song, I'd make a really great video for it, invest all the money into that, and then have a few backup songs. So if you know, get the interest of a record company or not, because nowadays it's probably best to do things on your own, via Bandcamp or some, you know, one of these other startup Kickstarter things, and have a few songs obviously waiting, so that if there is interest, you can say, right, well, we also have these songs, and then you're halfway toward a debut album. But yeah, dedication, a strong song, strong image, maybe. You just got to be noticed, and you need to really work hard at it.
Perfect, Dani. These are all the questions that I have for you today. I hope you had a good time with us. Would you like to say something to the people who will see this interview when it is published?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, everybody who's into Cradle of Filth, for your support. I hope people have bought the album. Supporting music is obviously very important during these times. Yeah, and hopefully we'll see you next year out on the road, because we have big plans for next year. Some of which are going to be announced in the next coming weeks. So hopefully we're touring everywhere again. America proved that people can do it, proved that we can do it. So yeah, we're very much looking forward to getting out there and playing Existence is Futile to our fans. But yeah, check out also the social media sites, naturally, www.cradleoffilth.com, Instagram pages for Dani Filth, official Dani Filth, and official Cradle of Filth. And that's it. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, Dani. I wish you a lot of success.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
See you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.